Patriots. I'm here in Summerville, South Carolina, where I live, and I'm just so excited to meet with great patriots, as you know, who love our country and are from all over. And I'm just so delighted to be here with Angela Humphries. Angela, thank you for doing this.
Good to see you.
We had to have this in the middle here because I want you to see some of the behind the scenes of how this amazing business works here at So Fabulous LLC in Summerville. And here's what's really interesting about this interview. So as you all know, I came from Ireland. I went through 18 years of legal immigration, and I'm very proud to say that, especially in light of all that's going on in our country today. But Angela's from England, and I've never had an interview like this where an Irishman and an Englishwoman who love liberty, and you're going to learn a lot about how much she loves liberty in a minute, are coming together for such a time as this. So Angela, it's great doing this with you.
Yes.
We've been to do this for a while now.
Yes.
And God's timing is perfect. So let me just ask you, being from England, coming to this country like I did the right way, what does liberty mean to you and being a patriot?
Well, liberty means freedom, and it's freedom of choices, freedom to make decisions, freedom to choose whether or not I agree or disagree with the government, politicians, freedom to basically live my life the way God has set out for me to live it without the government interfering.
Absolutely. No, and so coming from England, you have to tell the story about how all this happened. I mean, because you never judge a book by its cover, right? And if you came in here, you wouldn't know some of the things that you love, like the Second Amendment. So just tell us a little bit about the story coming here, firstly.
Coming here, I originally came for a summer camp, which was a 6-week long camp, and then followed by, I think my visa allowed me another 10 weeks or something. So I did that. My eyes were like this. I came from London, which is very restrictive compared to the liberties we have here, which I didn't realize that until I got here. But I was in San Diego with, let's just say it was an eye-opener.
A massive eye-opener, yeah.
Yeah, firstly, I felt that every creature was out to kill me anyway. I had to deal with the venomous snakes, venomous spiders, killer bees, sharks in the water, just all of that. And, I felt that the children were precocious, a little more so than I'm used to.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But I stayed. I went from there to Hawaii. I got offered a job teaching scuba diving. I did that.
It's pretty cool.
Some time.
Gig right there.
It was a good job. I shouldn't have married my dive buddy. That was like, that was a mistake, but it did get me my visa.
Yeah.
Not why I married, but I married and started the process for a green card then.
Yeah. Oh, I remember the green card. Yeah.
Mine had a typo on it. So every time I came through immigration, I had to go to secondary questioning. And one time I just asked them, why do I always have to go for secondary questioning? I'm legal, because they always come up to me and just say, thank you very much, off you go. And it turns out there was actually a typo on my green card and it flagged every time.
Oh my goodness. And what I tell people is, as much as I'm fed up with illegal immigration, legal immigration needs to get better too. You're talking to Mary one day, and then next week you got to restart the whole thing with John, and it's a 1-800 number. And I remember I asked people who run for president back in 2016, what are you going to do not only about the border problem, but about the legal status problem? Because again, the system is just so flawed. But that being said, when I got sworn in, I was so proud that I finally made it. What was it like when you finally got sworn in? I have to hear your...
It was a big deal. It was a decision that I made. I had read the Constitution. I had read the amendments. I'm glad I read them because I wasn't willing to sign that I agreed if I didn't know what I was agreeing to. And some of it was a little strange. Well, it's all strange reading anyway, but I was on board with it and ready. It wasn't until I got married for a second time, and I'd been in the US over 10 years before I was ready to take that step. It's something I took seriously. It wasn't let's just check the boxes.
No, right.
I already had a green card. I could have stayed like that forever, but there came a time when I thought, I'm ready to become a citizen. Yeah.
Well, one of the things that, again, also drives me nuts about the attitude of people who've come over is this entitlement. We could go on just on that one for a while. But when you come to a new country, you're essentially being adopted in many ways. And your job is to assimilate, not for the country to assimilate to you. I really believe that strongly. Yes. What do you say to fellow immigrants out there? I didn't mean to go into all this, but I'm going there now.
Here we are.
What do you say to, because we both went through the process, right?
Yeah.
We are part of America. We want to add to the country. We're not trying to take away from it. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think you can add by bringing things from your culture, and you can make polite suggestions, because sometimes we feel that the way we do things is either the only way or the best way.
True. Yeah.
And sometimes it takes either visiting or living in a foreign country to realize, oh, there are different ways to do this. Not only is my way not the best way, it's also not the only way. So I do like that, but you can't come in and insist people do things
Demanding
your way.
it, right,
You can't demand it.
No.
You can show people, hey, what do you think about this? And possibly make change there.
Yeah.
But it's not about changing things on a big scale. I'm not going to come in and change the country, but I can love on all my neighbors and the people, the customers that come through the door can make change that way.
Amen. Absolutely.
But 100% on board when in Rome. I didn't leave there to come here because everything was so peachy there.
Exactly.
So, and we try and cherry pick, and it's not always possible. You choose one or the other.
Absolutely.
I do, like you're saying, when you touched on immigration, I don't want to turn this into a whole thing on immigrants. It's easy because we're both immigrants. But when I went through the process, I was scared, because everything you read is scary. And this is long before information was out there like it is. But I'd hired a lawyer. The lawyer showed up late, so I was already nervous. And now my lawyer's not here. And I got called. My lawyer still wasn't there. And I said to the lady at the counter, who was just polite and just doing her job, probably for a little more than minimum wage, clerical job. And I said to her, do I need a lawyer? Because he's not here. She said, you either qualify or you don't. Yeah. Do you have anything like convictions? She said, that makes things more difficult. Not impossible, but more difficult. And again, we are going back quite a few years, close to 30 years for all of this. I said, I do not. And she said, then you don't need a lawyer. She said, you either qualify or you don't. And I would say, at least then, and I haven't kept up with it because I don't need to, the fees were not exorbitant. Right. So I'm not very tolerant when I hear, oh, this poor person has been arrested by ICE and they've been living here as a model citizen for 30 years. I'm thinking 30 years, you put 10 cents a week away.
Yeah, I know, come on.
And paid for that within a couple of years. But
yeah, not to make it all about this, but I do think it's important because this is very much a unique interview in this sense, and I'm proud to do it. So let's talk about business. I love being here, and I mean, it's kind of a lost art in many ways. Like when you think about, we all wear things for nice occasions, or I wear suits all the time. So to me, it's almost like a normal everyday thing. Yeah. But to have trusted people that can look after the tailoring, can make sure things look the right way on your body type. What made you go into all this? I mean, this is a big undertaking, and it's a big industry.
I would say probably the fact that my mother and grandmother played into it, although I wanted nothing to do with it until I was in my late 30s and pregnant with my first child. I couldn't find anything that I liked. My best friend actually made my wedding dress for me. I designed it with the drawing skills of a 3-year-old on a piece of paper. She made a pattern and made a dress from my drawing. And I just thought that was amazing. Again, I was pregnant. I was a plus size as well. I couldn't find anything for plus size, maternity that were modest that I cared to wear. Right. So I started sewing, and I took high-end classes. I was very blessed to take high-end classes in Pittsburgh, and that just set me on the right track. Yeah. Gosh. I went to England and took more classes at some universities, did a few years of pattern drafting, some tailoring, and the more I did it, the more I loved it. Yeah.
Now the name, So Fabulous. I mean, it's a great name for it, but I love to hear how did you come up with the name? How'd that happen?
So just because it's sewing and just the fabulous, I want people to feel fabulous in what they're wearing. It doesn't matter. We've all got issues with our body, something. Everybody's got something.
If you're honest.
We're honest, We want to play up parts and we want to downplay parts. And I just want people to feel fabulous in what they're wearing. And it's not what I think, it's what they think. Yes. I might think, it's a little tight on the hips. That woman, it's usually women that are more open about how they feel, may love the tight dress on the hips, but may not love something else. So it's like getting to know the customer. What do you not like about this dress? Or what do you want to achieve?
Absolutely.
It's that. It's more than just sewing.
Well, it's a word that you don't hear as often as probably we should, and we don't use enough adjectives, I'd argue today too. So fabulous. No, I love that. And how long have you all been here? Give us a sense of the history of the place.
This location, we've been here for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Before this, I was in another location next to Ash and Teas, rented from Tracy. She gave me a very good start getting out of my home.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I was in my home for years and years. So altogether, we've been going for 10 years, and it's literally one customer at a time. And now we have a staff. I think we're up to about 14 or 15
It's
now.
amazing. It's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've talked to some of the employees here, and they just have a great spirit about them, and they're fun, and they're kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of creativity, which you'd need to have here, but they're having fun with the creativity. You know, some people are like, oh, coming to work. Like, I don't get that feeling at all with anyone here, which says a lot.
We like it.
You know, a good work environment is very important that you foster that. How do you do that? That's actually a good question. How do you foster a fun environment, but yet be productive?
The expectations need to be known. They need to be clear, and it's in the hiring process. I do tell people as well where I tell them I'm Christian. I can't obviously insist other people are, and nor would I want to. But I tell them we run a Christian business. Everything we do here honors and glorifies God. We will stop and pray. If anyone asks, whether it be a customer or another team member, over the years, we've all received a phone call at work we didn't want to receive. And sometimes, you know, when somebody goes out the back with the telephone, you know it's not a good call. They're saying, they obviously need some privacy. So I'll ask them, is this something we need to pray about? Is it something you want to share? Usually they've said yes, but not always. Or sometimes they'll say, just pray, but I'm not ready to talk. That's okay. We respect that. But if somebody says, I need prayer for whatever it is, we'll stop what we're doing. Everybody who's here is invited to pray, but not expected to. Whether they do or don't doesn't make a difference on anything. We just offer that. And some of these staff members here, team members, will just say, hey, could you pray for this? Sometimes I'll get a text message, I'm going through this. Could you just include this in your prayers? Because I pray for everybody by name and specifically, not just, bless the business, bless the workers. We know each other very well, and we know what's going on in each other's personal lives. We know each other's struggles. And I pray specifically for that. And I tell people when they're coming in, that this is the culture we have. A lot of people here get together outside of work and do things. They're all going to somewhere that I was not invited to. And I was like, why am I not invited? And they say, we know it's not your thing. I'm like, well, tell me now.
Like, I'm a free spirit.
They're right. It's not my thing. I'm not saying what it is, but we know each other very well. So we do things together, and I explain that when I interview, it's not just the skills, the fit for them as a team member is more important. We can teach sewing skills. It's, are they going to fit as a team? Are they on board with the culture? I've now implemented, it's basically a 3 to 4 hour interview for which they get paid, but they come for an interview. And if we are happy with everything there, then they get invited back for a morning or afternoon to come and work without anybody making a commitment. They can see who we are, what we're like to work with, and we can see what they're like to work with. And that's making a huge difference. Yeah,
that's fantastic. So if I was, and I'll be taking a lot of footage here after this, but if I was shadowing for a day, what is it like a day in the life here, working here? Or just if you were to come in and watch people and how they interact?
We work hard, but we're all talking as well. We've seen everybody in there.
Having fun.
Because the pepper spray, we're having fun as well. A lot of our customers are repeat customers, so we get to know the customers.
They're chatty.
Jackie and her family. So we'll stop and talk to people. There comes a limit, because sometimes I'll be like, come on, we got work to do. But getting to know our customers is important work. And I've got a couple of young ladies, actually, that came with their mothers, and I sewed clothing for their mothers when I was in my home. One of them, I sewed her quinceanera dress, altered it. I didn't make it from scratch. I've sewn her prom dresses, and I've done her wedding dress. It's that being with the whole family. And it's the good and the bad. I've sewn wedding dresses, and the wedding hasn't lasted as long as the dress did. So it's the happy and the sad. It's more than about sewing. It's about the relationships.
These are big moments in people's lives.
They are. And even people say things, well, just pants hemming. You know what? Those pants are what man's going to wear to his wedding, or they could be pants that a man's wearing to his wife's funeral.
Yeah.
It could be a young man's job interview, first ever job interview, and he wants to make a good impression.
Moments of history in people's
It
lives.
is. So you feel like you're literally woven, excuse the pun, into someone else's life. So
we'll take that pun.
There you go. We'll take the jokes so we can get them.
Yeah.
It's more than just the sewing. We're involved in people's lives. It's more about that.
So I have to ask, on the heels of that, are there top moments that really stand out to you of like, oh, I really, you helped this person, and because of that something great happened, or any moments that stand out to you?
Just the trust we built with people. We a few years ago, a police officer in Summerville passed away. I was told beforehand, be ready. We can't say what it is, but we're going to be bringing you sewing. And they did share quite a bit with me, but I was asked not to share it. Sure. But there's going to be some emergency sewing coming up. And I had to call all the people that worked for me who were then, this is when I was working out of my home, who then had to be ready to sew. So I called all of them and said, look, I can't say what it is, but we're about to get a rush order of something. And I was told that, he had passed away, but it hadn't been released yet, so that I did get asked not to share that. So I told them, we are going to need all hands on deck. Are you available to sew? Can you clear off anything? This is an emergency. And it was, and everybody cleared everything. And then we got a ton of uniforms that needed updating, needed rank sewing on, needed tailoring. And it meant a lot that the police department knew out of all the seamstresses, call this person, and this person will make it happen. And then I also had it was more than I could do alone. I had that trust with the people that were with me that they would step up. Anyone that could would step up, and they did. It was 100% team effort. We stepped up as a team and
I love that.
Delivered, and that's amazing.
Law enforcement too, No, well, everyone knows my opinion on how much I respect law enforcement. And 5 years ago, they went through hell. Just being called every name of the book. And I love that. Was it the police chief in New York who said, a good Irish guy, I think it was his name, Mahoney or something, and he says, this badge still has a shine to it. Yeah. We're still protecting and serving no matter what you think of this. Yeah. And so thank you for doing that.
Yeah, we're happy to.
What a great moment that must have been. Yeah. So when you completed it, how did that feel?
It just feels great that we got trusted. Yeah. We were able to follow through because I made a commitment. Yes, we'll do that, not knowing how many we would get, not know how many workers. But that's another thing. Like, Lord, this is in your hands. We back the police department. This needs doing. This is a tragic moment for them. Help us meet that need. Yeah. And there's a lot of prayer behind what we do, a lot of stepping out in faith.
I love that. Well, that's what we need too, is more faith-filled businesses. Even bigger than liberty. And you all know how much I'm about fighting for liberty. Our faith in Christ and making our faith the predominant. Because when I stood at the monuments in 2020 in front of the crazy mob, it was my faith that kept me out there. I'll be honest with you, Angela. It was not humanism or liberty. All those things come and go.
They're not,
But my faith will, his words will by no means pass away. Yeah. So that's amazing. Okay, so if someone comes in here and they're like, all right, Angela, what are all the things that you can do for me? Like, give me a sense for, in terms of clothing you can work on, all that.
We'll work on any item of clothing that it's possible. And sometimes someone will bring something in and it's possible. We can't make it 2 sizes larger without adding fabric. Right. That's just not possible. But we're very creative, and sometimes we're like, give us a day to think about that, because all of us come with different skills. Yeah. And there is obviously a huge overlap, but some people are just geniuses with the creative aspects. Yeah. We all come with slightly different strengths, but sometimes we'll lay something out and say, what can we do with this? We'll often get grandma's or mother's wedding dress and we're fashioning it into something else for the daughter, because she does not want to wear a wedding dress from the 70s or the 90s with poofy sleeves, or maybe it's yellow, or maybe mum was this thin, because they tended to be, each generation we're getting a little bit larger typically. So we get to play around with things like that and say, what can we do with this? But any items of clothing that can be sewn, we can sew. Then we also do embroidery, which is basically getting branding. You're letting your business stand out with quality. We want to represent your business well with the clothing by putting it on quality garments, using we use the most expensive top quality thread, because anyone that's got their own business is pouring into it. I know the late nights, the weekends. I'm tired right now because I was here till late.
If you're doing it right.
Yeah. I was here late last night. I want my products to represent my business well.
Yes.
So when we give someone something that represents their business, we want it to be represented well. And it could be a small logo. It could be a large logo on a bag. Like I have my logo is on my briefcase. It just could be coasters. We make branding products with a laser engraver for people to give their customers or friends.
That's great.
Yeah, it could be for a wedding where it has the wedding day or their new last name, the bride's new last name. It can be gifts that they give out. Anything that basically gets engraved on, we can engrave on that as well. But we're all about quality products.
Absolutely. Well, that's what we need. And I think people are yearning for authenticity and local. And I'm not going to go on an anti-AI binge here for a second, but I'm just going to say this, that we need to humanize businesses again. I really am strong on that. And like, if you get to know Angela, there's only one of you.
That's
right.
You know,
your unique story coming from London and all the things that you've done. You're a big Second Amendment enthusiast, and you and your husband, which is, we'll have to talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But like, all of this is unique to you.
Yes.
And so when people get to know you, like, you're going to become a regular of Angela and of this team here. And you just don't get that with e-commerce. And I'm not saying I'm anti-e-commerce, but again, it's about supporting local and supporting people you can actually get to know.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
And we get to know little preferences. We make hats, hats for a customer where we put our branding tag on the inside of the hat. That irritates his head. So guess what? We don't put those in his hats anymore.
Yes.
It's just that.
Those things matter. Yeah.
It matters. Firstly, he would never have come back as a customer because he didn't like the one with the tag in it. We were able to take that tag out and just not do it again. But had he just bought that online, it would have been like, oh, who cares?
Yeah.
I think that's...
Good luck emailing and trying to get...
Yeah, exactly. And they're trying to think, well, which customer was that?
Yeah.
But we know him. I ran into him 2 days ago at the coffee shop, actually, and we visited. I get to know a lot of our customers through the years. And, of course, it's Summerville. You run into people everywhere.
You do. No, that's what I love about Summerville.
Yeah.
I used to be in downtown Charleston. That was different. But I love that you can go to a Tolucci's or Cup of Manor and go, oh, hey, I didn't expect to see you in here. And there you are, you know. It's kind of like, have you seen the movie Avatar?
I have not. I don't watch television.
It's a great movie. And what I love about it is the whole theme of course, many of you have seen it, but it's the whole I see you mentality.
Right.
I really see you.
Yeah.
And I think in today's world, it's more I see someone, but they don't really see the person.
Yeah.
Because it's all just about projecting all over social media. And that's why with this, like I get to know the coolest people, you know, doing these interviews. So in terms of let's just say I'm living in Greenville, or like, how far is your reach for clients? Like if someone to get something done online, or how does that work?
We have customers that come down from Colombia, which I say, of course, that's because we're the best.
Exactly. I mean, why else would they be getting
That's
fabulous?
right. But
They will look fabulous.
Yeah,
Right.
I do wonder why. I know there are other places, but that's a long way.
It's a long way
to come down twice.
Right.
We do have people that have done their homework and are getting married here, choose to have us do their alterations because they may live out of state, but they're getting married in Charleston, so they'll make a trip in so that we can work on their wedding dress. I think it's reputation. You know, we try and ask people, how did you hear about us? And they'll name someone that I'm like, name's vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
If you show me a picture of the dress, it'll be even more familiar. But then we look it up, it'll be a customer from years ago, and now they're out of state. And it's like, oh, okay. So people do travel.
Yeah.
We did have someone from New York. That is the furthest. Only one.
Oh, New York.
But Tennessee is not unusual. North Carolina is not unusual. It's the whole destination weddings, I'm sure. And just people are so mobile now.
Yeah.
I mean, look how far we travel.
Oh, I know. You know, I think it's amazing. And Businesses for Liberty, we're somewhat controversial to some because we're pro-life, liberty, history, Second Amendment, America first. What made you decide I'm going to join knowing these things and knowing the pillars and principles? Yeah. Because you are a person of principles.
Yes.
So what made you join us knowing that?
I tend to shop my values as well where possible. I wouldn't say 100%. You can't put yourself in a bubble and surround yourself with people just like you because that comes with it comes with its own problems. You need to be the light as well. But if I'm looking for a business with someone and I don't know someone locally, it's like, oh, I can go there. Okay, they're pro-God, they're pro-Christian, they're accountable. They're accountable for doing what they said they were doing. That means a lot. And just someone else, just the values.
Yeah.
And someone that supports our values. And I'm the first to say I love the freedom of being able to disagree. I wish everybody agreed with me. I wish my husband agreed with me every day. That would make my life easier. It wouldn't give us the balance that God intended us to have. But it's such a privilege to be in a country where we can disagree.
Yeah.
And I like that. And I like the challenge as well of just doing life with people that you disagree with.
Yeah.
But I'm all for respecting someone else's beliefs. I don't have to like them. I don't have to agree with them. But it's rude to disrespect them.
It is,
and unfortunately, we've seemed to need to learn that a lot more.
We do. Well, like, Mike McIntyre, love that guy.
Yes.
He comes in here a good bit, right?
Yes,
and, we've got some great Summerville people talking about Jacqueline Tolucci earlier, Tolucci's Bakery, talking to Fran over at Hinbrink Jewelers. I mean, these are just wonderful human beings. And we've got some veterans involved in there, Eric French, Shamrock, Pro Wash. I'm doing all these shout outs here, but really, like, these are wonderful people.
They are.
And we need to expand in Summerville and make this a bastion of liberty where people can go, oh, I know, I've seen him, I've seen her before in an interview or whatever, and we become friends through it.
And it's funny, all of those people that are friends of mine through other means, but we have the same beliefs. So here we all are together promoting that it's okay to be pro-life. Because it's not so well received.
I know.
It's okay to be pro-liberty, pro-history, pro-Christ. All of that's okay.
Absolutely.
And these are great people to do businesses with. I've done business with a lot of those people, and I know I'm met with integrity. I'm all about integrity. Once integrity is lost, it is gone.
Everything's gone.
It's gone. Right. So
your word is your bond.
It is. It is. And those are all outstanding people that have great businesses.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think and there's not enough patriots that know each other today. If we don't know each other, we don't know how to pray for each other, and then we don't know how to help each other. Those three need to be connected.
Yeah, they
more
do.
And more. All right, so anything else that you'd like to share, Angela, about why you love this place? Obviously, tell us about this. So in this room, is this where you have your meetings, or give us a
this room? We're actually launching a school, officially launching the school. Just getting the last few bits, the website mainly together. Yeah. We're going to be teaching a variety of classes. My personal conviction is not to drink alcohol. It's been like that for over 20 years. Wow. My husband as well, and I get tired of going to events where it's alcohol. So we have created a space here that is alcohol-free. People can come and rent this room.
Oh, that's great to know.
But wait, they cannot bring alcohol. The whole thing is alcohol-free, so that when we publicize their event, if it's open to other people, it's an alcohol-free event, because that's what we stand for.
That's great. Yeah.
So it's just that safe space. I personally don't care if someone else drinks alcohol with me. I can go out for lunch and my friends will all have alcohol. I don't. That's okay. But an alcoholic would struggle with that. And I'm all for helping people through their struggles. So we've said that this is alcohol-free. We've got a Junior Service League meet here once a month because they needed a location and they need to not have to buy a meal. Yeah. Because that just makes everything expensive. So we just let them come here once a month. So if we're not using it and a non-profit wants to use it, they can do that.
That's wonderful, yeah.
It's good for as well setting up other businesses. Okay, they're not quite at a stage. I'm big on small businesses. They're not quite at a stage where they can rent something. Yeah. Maybe that's not their business goal. Maybe they want to teach 1 day a week, 1 day a month. Okay, come rent this space. We move all the sewing stuff out.
Yes.
We teach our other business, which Ted will be talking about. We turn the tables the other way. We've got the projector up there, which can project on either wall. So it's a very functional classroom. It's a little smaller than we were hoping for, but right now this is what we have.
We'll have to have like a BFL Summerville gathering here, some of our members. That'd be great.
Absolutely. Yeah. We could do that.
And then tell us a little bit about what your husband does. I think that's really fascinating. Tell us about that.
He's retired. He doesn't do anything. That's not true.
He's watching TV. No,
we don't have to have a working TV. It's still up on the wall. It stopped working a couple of years ago.
I love what he puts out on our Facebook page about human trafficking and being aware of things. I mean, he's getting some really good information.
He is. We're very involved with the human trafficking. We're part of Bikers Against Trafficking. I do ride a motorcycle, so I'm part of that group, and it's just something that's near and dear to both of us. We're the parents of 3 girls, so it has always been a concern. As a parent, your mind always goes to the worst case scenario. You want your kids to grow up like we did. We go out when the sun comes up, and you come when the street lights come on, you come home. It's not like that anymore. And just, you know, there's a certain amount of paranoia that's healthy, but that was one of my big fears. And then the more I've been involved in that, the more tragic it is. It's just, in this area, it is just rampant. So
the grooming and and that's why even with, you know, Xbox, like whatever gaming platforms too, right? And you got to be aware, you'll be checking what your kids are on, and it's very important.
And the hard thing is, these people that are involved are way ahead of, say, my husband. I had our family older, so I'm in my mid to late 50s. He's in his early 60s. The kids have got their devices, and we're like, oh my goodness. But now I know, run through ChatGPT. How do I check this on my kid's phone? And it does. It gives you. So there's no
there are exactly not totally anti.
Not to do that kind of stuff, but it is people, and they can't. Particularly young girls, but boys as well. They're trafficked. They make kids are stupid. Let's face it. They just that frontal lobe is not fully developed until 25, but they get involved. And the big thing is they talk someone into sending photographs online that they shouldn't be sending, and now they're stuck. They're bribed.
It's blackmail,
they
Absolutely.
Don't want to tell their parents, and that's a very common way into trafficking.
Well, that's why I'm a big proponent of Lighthouse for Life up in Colombia, and just the work they've done. I had no idea till 2017 about how rampant it was. I thought the movie, of course, Liam Neeson movie Taken was about the extent. And that's like the smallest amount of it, really. It's the grooming, it's the stuff that looks normal on the outside and it's not.
And we've probably all seen trafficked people. We just haven't known what to look for. Right. We do work with Lighthouse, and our goal here is to bring in young women that are either coming out of trafficking or men. I say women, it's typically women, both sewing and trafficking, but men and women, and also from domestic violence situations where they can come in here. We do have Department of Labor approved apprenticeship programs where they run through a course. Each one is a year long, depending, alterations is a year, bridal alterations is another year, embroidery technician is a year. So depending on where they are and what path they choose. But also, even with our sewing classes, we set aside so many spaces that we can give us a scholarship and say, you know what? Come take this class. We don't want money to stop you. I mean, we're as a business to make money.
Right.
But when we're talking about something that's life-changing for someone, it's like, you know what? You don't need to stay with him because, look, you've got your own skill set. Look, you can build a business on it. It doesn't have to be grand like this. No. You just have to be able to pay your rent and bills. But it's to show people you can do this.
Instilling belief in them, absolutely.
You can't just tell people, don't do that. Like, don't live with him. Don't leave yourself in that situation when you're not giving them alternatives. So we want to be providing solutions.
Absolutely. No, I think that's so heartwarming to hear because, when you give people, you empower them practically, it's not just talk. Like they really start to believe because it is hands-on. Which is amazing you're doing that, by the way. Thank you for doing that.
We love it. Just making a difference.
Absolutely.
I'm very blessed. We live modestly, like we've lived well, but we live within our means the whole time. I stayed home with the children until we had this business, and then this started in the home. I didn't have to work, so I'm very thankful that I still don't have to work. So when someone comes with needs, we can meet those needs. There's a few charities as well that we'll work with, that somebody's going for an interview, they need something tailored, they know, send them in. We'll take care of it, and we won't charge because this is a fresh start.
I mean, that's when business, again, small businesses can make such a difference in their community, locally and statewide. Because, I mean, Lighthouse for Life isn't near here. They're up there in Colombia. But again, your husband, so how did your husband get involved with that too? Because there's not enough men, honestly, angry about trafficking, in my opinion.
I probably would have to ask him that, but probably because we have 3 girls, and it's just so wrong.
So wrong.
And it's
evil.
Devastating. It's hard for these people to rebuild lives afterwards. And Unfortunately, you get in there after the effect, after it's happened, and you help them rebuild. But if we can get people earlier or prevent it and just bring about awareness so people know what to look out for, can be teaching their children. It's hard. You don't want to scare your children half to death. Right. Yeah. And there's there's that, and drugs and gangs and all the other things that you're trying to tell your children without making them stay up at night, but giving them that healthy dose of, this is the reality of the world we live in. And
they're going to learn one way or the other. So you'd rather they learn it from you, than be exposed to the wrong thing. Yeah. No, that's amazing. Well, I have to say before we part on this part of the interview, how cool is it that you've got you from London, me from Tipperary, Ireland, right? And we're in the land of the free, talking about liberty.
Yep.
I think that's such a great message to people because it's the right way to do immigration. Like immigration is not a bad word. It's not a bad word. It's when just like anything, if you do it illegally, that's the problem.
Yeah.
But
consequences.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for everything in life. But what does it say to you that we're doing this right now? I mean, I just think it's a powerful moment for folks to hear because again, people have misconceptions about even Ireland and England, and we've had our history sure over the years. I mean, my mother's side related to Michael Collins, but there's such respect there now.
Yeah.
I think you'd agree. And I would say, too, people that left Ireland like I did or left England like you did, we're looking back and going, what the heck happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we fought 800 years and it's like the Irish Constitution means nothing.
Yeah.
England's been overrun.
Yeah.
I mean, speak to that real quick. I mean, just does it hurt your heart to see England the way it is now?
It does. It really does. It's just... yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah.
There are things I love, of course.
Oh, yeah, always, right.
Always. Yeah. Home is always home. Your birthplace, there's that comfort with the stuff you grew up with, but it is sad. Yeah. And it is nice when we come back here, our liberties. When I talk to people in England during COVID, I thought it was horrendous here. The government's too involved in too many things anyway. Yeah. But in England, you had to pick a bubble, and you're only allowed so many people in your bubble. And someone had to explain to me, what is this bubble? They're people that you're allowed to be in a room with or in a circle with, and there's a distance. Even if you go out and meet people outside, they've got to be in your bubble. Like you choose in advance who it's going to be. It's like, no, I'm not doing it. It's crazy enough here.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was way too much crazy. But
I don't know if my mom told you about my grandmother, Carmel. She's, 96 now, and she just disobeyed everything out there. She's like, I lived through World War II. You're not going to put
and the depression.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's been around for all of that, but she could see through the nonsense.
Yeah. And we have a lot more freedom to do that here.
We do.
We can say, this doesn't make sense. I'm not doing it. My business took off during COVID because I refused to close. And people that aren't comfortable get the choice. Yeah. People, you don't have to come. If you're not comfortable, don't come.
Liberty to do what you want.
It is, to make your choices. But there are, of course, consequences. And if I got sick, I got sick. Yeah. I didn't. So, because I think, I'm not going to say it's a hoax. It wasn't a hoax. And a lot of people died. I've watched people die because I work EMS. And I saw people in the hospital die. But it wasn't what they made it out to be.
Right. Yeah.
So, government overreach.
We would have been better off. We're outside and taking care of our immune system and all that stuff. Anyway,
I think the immune system shot after that.
Yeah, if we put all that time into eating right and exercise, we'd be a whole lot better off. What's your final question? What is your message to people about standing up for their liberty, regardless of their age, their gender, any of those things? Like, why is it important to stand up for liberty, in your opinion?
Well, firstly, if you don't stand for anything, you will fall for everything. And not only you, your children, your people around you, and our rights get eroded a little bit at a time. I do think, and I am a conspiracy theorist, I'll be the first to admit
I'm in that boat too.
I do think a lot of COVID was a test run. How are people behaving? And I just think, keep your eyes open. You don't want to live in paranoia, but you want to keep your eyes open and 100% vote. Use that time, find the politicians that believe like you do and vote them in, because they're the people that make changes at the top. Mm-hmm. But we make change on the grassroots level.
Yes.
By the way we treat people.
Yeah.
Come and have these conversations, the tough conversations. Is there a middle ground? I'm not saying you give up your liberties.
No.
But if you can't win over big government, maybe you can make small changes. win over individual people.
Absolutely. Well, if you hear nothing else from me, know this, that So Fabulous LLC, you need to come here. And, you know, when you pull out your wallet, I tell people this all the time, you're voting with your dollars.
Yes.
So don't vote for globalism, which is ruining Ireland and England.
Yeah.
Vote for liberty, vote for small business, and come here, get to meet Angela. Now that you've got to know her a little bit, you need to come meet her yourself.
Yeah.
So God bless you all. Angela,
Thank you.
thank you for doing